Cracking down on fraud was one of the top topics at the legislature this year. This week, the special session came to a close. KARE 11 investigative reporter AJ Legault takes a look at some of the key reforms introduced to better protect taxpayer money.
At New Way, Minnesota's largest addiction treatment provider, with satellite centers across the state, KARE 11 exposed a complex pattern of double billing, costing taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. Here's what was happening. Treatment sessions are billed to Medicaid by the hour. The rules state that in order to bill for that hour, the session must go past the midpoint. New Way exploited that midpoint rule, scheduling their treatment sessions in 35-minute blocks. So for 35 minutes of treatment, taxpayers were charged for a full hour. But then, records show New Way also double billed. Here's how. From 8 to 8:35, they'd bill for an hour. Then at 8:45, they'd start billing for another hour. Double billing for the overlapping 15 minutes. That means every 4 hours of treatment, they billed for 5 hours, inflating their billing by 25%. In response, lawmakers promised reforms.
This is out of control, and we need to do a whole relook at the whole system.
Here's what they did. They passed a policy fix to eliminate the midpoint billing loophole and specifically ban duplicative billing.
As part of our Recovery Inc. investigation into Medicaid fraud, we also discovered another glaring loophole in Minnesota law. Kickbacks, a federal crime, were not illegal under state statute. That's now changed. How surprised were you to learn that kickbacks were not technically illegal in Minnesota?
We were stunned.
Republican State Representative Kristen Robbins was chair of the new Fraud Prevention Committee. In hearings, KARE 11's investigations were frequently cited when the FBI raided Evergreen Recovery, another treatment provider, last summer. One of the charges was illegal kickbacks in the form of providing free housing in exchange for attendance at treatment services. The DOJ has made similar allegations about New Way. New Way argued Minnesota DHS has known all about their housing subsidies for years and raised no concerns.
Commissioner, are you saying that you don't have the authority to prohibit kickbacks?
When questioned, DHS's temporary commissioner told the fraud committee with kickbacks, their hands were tied.
It's my understanding that we do not have the authority in state statute to take action.
That was one of the most stunning hearings.
Was it obvious to lawmakers that kickbacks needed to be made illegal in state
Absolutely.
statute?
Strong bipartisan support.
New Way itself was forced to make major changes. DHS cut off funding for their outpatient treatment, which served more than 800 patients. That resulted in New Way shuttering their program in late April. They now operate just residential treatment with 226 beds. All references to CEO David Venice, whom KARE 11 exposed made nearly $1 million a year running the nonprofit, disappeared from New Way's website. In an email, New Way attorney David Glazer told KARE 11 they eliminated all C-suite and VP level positions, and while some leaders stayed in new roles, they are reflective in both salary and title of a dramatically smaller organization.
There were a number of anti-fraud measures that did not pass, including increased penalties for Medicaid thieves. Currently, no matter how much Medicaid money is stolen, you can't be sentenced to more than 2.5 years. That's similar to what you'd get for stealing a flat-screen TV. So clearly, lawmakers have a lot more work to do when they come back next year. For KARE 11 Investigates at the Capitol, I'm AJ Legault.
We received a statement from the Temporary Human Services Commissioner that reads, steps taken by Governor Walz and lawmakers this legislative session give the department more authority to detect, prevent, and take action against fraud. With these new tools to protect public dollars, DHS programs and DHS's Office of Inspector General will continue working together to strengthen program integrity and make sure providers play by the rules.